Oh boy. So here we are in like the 1st or 2nd of February. One of those days. Or is this the 8th of February? Wow. And had a little injury to my foot and some gout attack. And that took my exercising down for a couple weeks, which truly sucks. But I'm back at it now. Hopefully we can drop this next 80 pounds. So I have been off, haven't been making any posts for a little while, as I have been trying to get my book, Sergeant at Arms Bible, completed and out to the world. That was a very interesting book to write. Took a lot out of me, a lot of research. 18, 20-hour days. It's my 4th book in the Motorcycle Club Bible series. Prospects Bible was the first. Then the PRO's Bible, Public Relations Officer's Bible for motorcycle clubs, the 2nd. Prospects Bible for women's motorcycle clubs was the 3rd. Sergeant at Arms Bible is the 4th. Not sure what I'll do next. Maybe Road Captain's Bible, President's Bible, Secretary or Treasurer's Bible, or the Motorcycle Club Members Bible, the Prospect Sponsors Bible, How to Train Prospects, or the How to Write Bylaws book, or the How to Start a Motorcycle Club book. And they just keep calling me up or writing me or text messaging me, and I'm trying to get the books out as fast as humanly possible. Which brings up a new text message, or immediate message that I got yesterday. And this one really hurt me because I'll tell you, when I started doing this speaking, I saw this guy in the UK named Dibber in the Wind. And I don't know how I found his channel, his YouTube stream, but I think it was a Sons of Anarchy thing. And I listened to it and I was like, wow. So then I started looking at some of his other stuff. And since he was in the UK, I began looking for a US equivalent. And I really couldn't find one. His information was really great, but I wanted to see if there was somebody that I could get some information from that probably knew a little of the MC protocol we do here. And I really didn't find too many folks. So I said, well, shoot, I'll throw my hat in the ring and talk a little bit about what I've done over the past 27 years. And I used to wonder why I would see a lot of things on Dibber's feeds, like all these mean people with really crappy stuff to say, not adding to the discussion. And I would wonder about that until I got a chance to taste a little of it for myself, and kind of got an understanding of what happens to you when you put yourself up for public display. All that a fellow's trying to do is pass on some knowledge that he may have gleaned over his years of experience. That doesn't mean I think I'm anybody. Nobody died and put me in charge. I really don't care what you do in your MC. I'm not giving any orders. But if you want to know my opinion, you can ask me or tune into my channel and you get my opinion. And you can take what nuggets you find and polish them into gold, or leave the coal behind and not worry about any of it. Well, no, coal, that's diamonds, I think. Whatever. So, but I can tell you that I wasn't prepared. I was not prepared for the positive or the negative. The positive is really good. The negative is really bad. I wasn't trying to get disciples or anything like that. But you will find that you attract all kinds. And you attract all kinds of questions. People, they flood your inbox. And some of the things, you're not really, you know, there's no courses in this. I got a degree in education. I didn't get a degree in psychology or sociology. So some of this stuff I don't know the answers to. I can only revert back to MC protocol, how we do it here in the United States, and maybe that affects other countries. Maybe it's the exact same. I find a lot of it is kind of similar. It's kind of cool. Can't wait to ride over there with some of you guys in the UK and Africa and Israel and Romania. I'm coming, and I want to ride with some of you great folks. But anyway, this particular note was one I wasn't really ready for, and I've been thinking about it a lot, because it's one of those things that I believe we all go through, or will go through. And that is, what happens when you can no longer ride in the pack? What happens to you as an officer? What happens to you as a president? What happens to you as a member? What happens when you can no longer get down on two? Like, could happen to me in another 5 or 10 years, or you could have a wreck, you could become crippled or meningitis or any such thing, and here you are, unable to actually ride in the pack. It's a funny thing, I mentioned Sons of Anarchy earlier. Very silly little show, but aren't all television shows silly? When we watch them knowing that Hollywood or Bollywood or whatever wood is going to take it out of context and blow it all up, because that's how they sell movie tickets and television commercials. There's got to be drama and everything. But we watch those kinds of shows for the little bit of reality that we may glean when we're looking. And some of that reality was apparent when you had the show Sons of Anarchy, and they were doing the line that they never really quite developed, where the president started losing his ability to hold on to the throttle and pull in the clutch. They were giving him injections in his hands and all of that kind of stuff. And aside from the drama, it did have a little air of reality to it. Because we all know that in a traditional motorcycle club, if you can't ride your iron, you can't be president in a traditional motorcycle club. A lot of us don't operate so traditionally, and you don't even have to have a motorcycle to be in some of our motorcycle clubs. But since I preach traditional MC protocol, I would like to tell you that doesn't happen in my MC. I'm not going to say it hasn't happened. I'm going to say that it doesn't happen now. And we try to follow things the way that we've been taught from the MC protocol of the days gone by. So this guy wrote me this letter, and it really touched my heart. And so I'll read it to you. And it says, I have, and I won't say what the disease is, so I won't give away his privacy, but he says, I have a disease that has gotten me, that has gotten worse and causes me to randomly twitch. Now, let's see, let me do this better. I have a disease that's gotten worse and causes me to twitch randomly. And I have asked several people if they know how to have the feeling of riding two abreast, 2 by 2, which is one of my favorite things to do with my brothers, but I can't anymore with my arms twitching at random. I miss the feeling of moving in a perfect formation. Do you have any thought on how to have the feeling of riding in a formation without exactly being in a formation? Let me tell you something, brothers. When I read that damn letter, and you guys know I'm not cursing anymore, I started to weep. I started to weep because I know the passion by which I put into this, and I know the passion by which you guys put into this. And I know that if you live long enough, you ain't gonna be able to ride no more. Some of us will have the opportunity to go to three-wheelers. Then others of us will go to those new little Polaris things. What are those things called? You know, the car-looking thing that they call a motorcycle in the United States. And then the T-Rex. Some of us will get to do that. And then some of us, like the Goldwing, has these landing gear things you can buy. And when you slow down, it will, the landing gear drops down. And you never put your feet down. So, some of us will have trikes. So goes it as you get older and older and older. But then sooner or later, or maybe because of an accident or whatever, you may not be able to ride anymore. To do what it is. Oh! I knew that thing was slippery, but I survived. To do what it is that that you love to do. Like for me, I gave up half of that thumb in a motorcycle incident, and it could have been more. Thank God it wasn't. So what do you do? What do you do when you can no longer ride? How do you serve the MC? How do you serve your brothers? How do you stay involved? How do you become or not become forgotten? For some of us, it's a fate worse than death. And we don't know how we would survive. My response, I'm not proud of. I toiled over it over and over and over again. So there's going to be a day I won't be a national president or a president or even a lauded founder or whatever you want to say. There's a day we all go back to whatever it was that we were, just in an older or more crippled form. Then what? So I said to my brother from afar, I said these things. One of the saddest parts of being a part of the beehive is that when you are no longer safe for the beehive, then you must give up parts of the beehive. It hurts like hell, but it is true. The hive continues to thrive, even though individuals of the hive must be left behind. It happens to us all, throughout humanity and throughout Mother Nature. It happens to some sooner than it happens to others. We must serve the MC as part of the larger piece of the beehive, our all to our brotherhood. When we find we are no longer safe to be in the pack, we must relinquish the pack and live from the memories we built up and look at those that we have trained and enjoy the pack vicariously. The MC is like an animal thrashing through the forest. While it is young and good, it can escape the lions and it can reproduce. But when it becomes old and diseased, it becomes vulnerable. And we have all seen old, diseased MCs with members sitting on bar stools, talking about yesteryear, whether MCs become unimportant and irrelevant. They stopped recruiting long ago and stopped obeying the rules by which the MC was formed. We give our all to the MC, not for what the MC can do for us, but for what we can do for the MC and for our brothers, those whom we have convinced to ride by our sides until we can ride no longer. The MC, if it is to survive, must have a pack full of able-bodied riders. This doesn't mean that you can't ride without some sort of appendage or some sort of, if you only have one leg, you lost a leg, maybe we can rig the bike for you to ride legless. There are things we can do. But the MC has to have riders. And when you can no longer be safe in that pack, you must come out of it. How to feel like you're in formation without being in formation is not something I've ever encountered, so I may not be qualified to speak on it. You can always get a bike with a sidecar and ride as a passenger while another brother operates the bike. The advantage of this is that you could actually participate in the ride. You can engage in the hand signals and perhaps act as the pseudo road captain or assistant road captain, giving signals and directing the group. Not exactly the same feeling as riding on your own, but still participating as a valued and loved member of the pack, of the group, of the MC Brotherhood, while keeping the pack safe, because you're not in it unsafely. Your skills and knowledge would still be applicable to building the MC and the younger riders while providing an example of perseverance to the OGs. Just some thoughts. How do you stay relevant. When parts of you become irrelevant, you get busy. You get out of the box. You come out of the self-pity. You take what's dealt to you. For me, it's gout. It's terrible. I can't walk. Sometimes for weeks. Sometimes I can only crawl. Damn it, I'll crawl on this trail if I have to. And when I can walk, I walk my ass off. Forgive my cursing. To try to lose as much weight as possible. To beat this terrible disease that only gets worse. It doesn't get better. But if you had to serve your MC as a prospect, would you? It's not could you, because you sure could. But would you? If they took your president's patch away, or your road captain's patch, or your almighty sergeant-at-arms patch, and punished you and said you're going to go back and be a prospect tomorrow, would you do it? Could you do it? Do you love your brothers more than you love yourself? Well, if you do, then the same thing applies when you start to get ill, or you can no longer ride. You can't hold that bike up in the pack. It's easy for me to say I haven't gone through it, but I did lose part of this thing and I couldn't ride for a minute. And so I trained the others. I taught them. I spent time with them, helping them to learn until such time as I could ride in the pack and lead the pack again. That's your mission. Service. Many of us who were in the military, we understand service. Boy Scouts or whatever it was. The volunteer agency or whatever you did in service to others. That teaches you the tenets of what you need to survive out here as a productive member to society and a productive brother, full patch brother of the mighty Motorcycle Club Nation. No matter what country you're in. It's not about I. It's about we. It's about what we can do to form a strong bond of brotherhood that protects one another, gives one another family, sense of belonging, brotherhood that we might never have had as young people, as children. We can have that now if we learn to give through the pain, to give through the heartbreak, to give through the defeat, and to give through the glory. Loving one another as brothers. I'm sorry you're hurting, brother. Lift your head up. Remember the glory days. Find a new way to ride. Find a new way to participate. And give. Continue to give until the day you die. And we will know you. And we will know who you were. And we will never forget you. I'm Black Dragon, National President of the Black Sabbath Nation. Please get my new book, Sergeant at Arms Bible, sergeantatarmsbible.com. It's all listed in the credits below, the verbiage below. And you guys have a great and safe 2017. Get skinny.